Well, the meeting with Russian President Putin has turned into be quite a fiasco, at least for our President Donald Trump. When he was with Putin, he said, "Hey, I don't think there's any there." And then he comes back and says, "Well, maybe there is. I trust in the community." We have a Democrat and a Republican at the table. I guess I'm a registered Republican. I'm probably in the center, and you're probably more in the center too. What do we take away from all this?
Honestly, I will say that this certainly should not be recorded as his finest diplomatic hour.
Oof.
Okay, and he's had some doozies, but this one will go down as not his finest diplomat. You know, whether he misread or whether he is recanting, regardless,
He didn't misread.
The situation that with Russia collusion and things, I think there's a bunch of horse hockey with that, but the way that it was handled, I think really was inappropriate. Why we didn't actually call Putin on the carpet regarding the diplomats and say, come on, while you're up here in front of all the mics, tell us why you're not going to send those individuals back to our country for prosecution.
So I have some very specific questions, but before I do that, I want to get your take on it.
Well, let's just say this. It's a lot more than a public relations or diplomatic fiasco here, which some Republicans are kind of suggesting as is, it wasn't good TV for the Donalds, But you have to realize in the history of the United States, no other president, none, has ever gone to a foreign power as a subservient, supplicant and said the things that he did, denying his own intelligence community and saying, I believe you, Putin, I do not believe our own people. That has never happened in the history of this country. And people should realize this is far more. This is a very serious thing that people should be very much worried about. This has never happened in the history of this country. No president has ever done anything like this. Nothing.
I think you're right on your facts, at least from my research.
Yes,
in terms of the last part of what you said, which is saying on a public stage in another country that I believe this country over ours. I think that is essentially the most problematic thing that I've seen out of this president.
He believes his version of the truth. Putin's and his operatives more than he believes our own.
I understand.
And they're unanimous.
That said, I'm not sure that I agree that he went in supplicating.
Well, he certainly did. Everybody said he looked weak. They criticized him for looking weak, even his own Republicans.
Everybody from where?
So,
Mitch McConnell,
yeah,
George
so
Will called him a wreck of a man.
George Will and him, they won't even be in the same 100 miles of each other half the time.
McConnell, Ryan, they're people like it was
so I don't,
Newt Gingrich.
I'm not gonna prescribe weakness or power. What I can tell you is, from my perspective, it was a horrible, horrible thing to do, and it sends. And then to back up on it, I mean,
and then to double down again. Today he's doubling down.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Now, having said that, let's talk about the circumstances. Let's go back and do a little 2020 in hindsight. First question, should he have taken the meeting with Putin given the release of the indictments? Or do you just say, guys, I'd like to meet, but we're going to have to wait 3 months till we sort this out?
Well, I think the problem with that is that he only found out about the indictments after this meeting was already
Who cares?
put on
Who
the
cares?
schedule.
Who cares?
He shouldn't have been in the first place.
And hey, I'm in the neighborhood. We're on opposite sides of the world. Let's do a quick, one-on-one.
Okay, but here's the
doesn't
thing.
happen in
Let's
diplomacy.
let's put that in real life terms. You and I have a business deal. You find out we've got scheduled to close. We're going to the lawyers to close on whatever it is, and you find out that I'm not such a good guy. Do you still come in and close? No, you probably postpone it until you can confirm the facts. That's one side of it. And there's another side, I know that. We're probably not going to get it from you, though. What is your thoughts? Should he have had the meeting?
He should not have had it to begin with.
Okay.
He should not. This is what Putin wants. Historically, this is what leaders like Putin do. And even like Trump, they want the recognition on a world stage. It's what he did with North Korea. You don't do it this way.
But-
and anybody who has been in diplomacy, diplomatic circles, or done this for their whole life, they understand this is not how you project American power and control. It's not how you do it.
How
To
do you
give
do
this
it?
guy
Tom, even JFK had his Soviet blunder. Okay,
This
so,
is far bigger.
but
This is
what I'm
far
saying is,
bigger.
even he underestimated. I think Trump went in there and underestimated. Whether he should have or shouldn't have had the meeting, it doesn't matter at this point because it's water over top of the dam. So we have to move forward and try to be more.
We've got to
project a
prevent him
stronger
from doing these stupid things.
But let me, okay, so you're right, it is water over the dam, but under the bridge, whatever you want to use there. But let's move on, let's move one concentric circle out. So now he's had the meeting. That question is an impossible question to answer when you're on the same stage. You and I are standing stage side by side, and somebody says, Jim, Henry House is an X. Do you agree? That's a hard question to answer.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like saying, well, Putin is, Putin's medal in it. How is he going to call the, leader on a world stage with all the microphones in his face and give the sound bite that is going to play
What
around
is
the
the
world?
right answer to that question in your mind?
Well, Mr. President, did Putin meddle in the U.S. elections? And, the proper question should have been, listen, I have considerable intelligence from the people within the United States that show and provide an evidence that there was some type of influence in the election process, not that it influenced the result of the election process, but that there was outside actors that were involved in propaganda.
They are literally our enemies engaging in cyber warfare. Call it what you want.
But
But
This
it's no
is what
different
it
than any
is.
other country.
But that's
This
right.
is what it is. And you go out there and you say, hey, Putin, my people know that you did this. You don't say, I think. You've got the whole apparatus. You appointed these people. And they're telling you without a doubt, it's like before 9/11. I mean, who's it? Dan Coates said the red lights are all flashing. This is what they were talking about in regards to 9/11. You wouldn't have gone over and said, hey, Osama, gee, I think you're,
But,
I trust you, but I don't trust my
and
own
we both
people.
agree. All three of us agree. It was a.
Well, how do you be strong? You asked about how he could be strong. That's how you call him out.
So
We're the
you-
United
you-
States of America. They have an economy smaller than Italy's, Russia.
So your
Really?
suggestion was when that question is asked to say, yes, they did.
Yeah.
He did. And we're going to
Exactly.
be dealing with that.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you don't start with the truth, you get nowhere. So he just undermined the trust of the American people in our own government. You understand that there's no good governance without trust. And he trusts Putin more than us.
Well, I don't know that he trusts Putin more than us, but I do
Well,
know.
he obviously said he did.
He said that he didn't necessarily believe that
The 400-pound guy and
Yeah.
eating his potato
No,
chips. He
I
said,
agree.
"Oh, there are others too," but that's not the point. You are on the stage with this guy who has done more than any, as far as we know. Your intelligence community keeps telling you this.
So my
And they're
guess
still
is
doing it. They're still doing
your
it.
idea of the best way for him to fix this is to resign from office. Is that accurate?
No, the best way that he should fix it is to clamp down sanctions, to go out there and put Putin's feet to the fire.
Okay.
How else are you going to
And
trust
if
him?
he does that,
Yeah.
does that make him a better president in your view?
Yes, it does.
Okay. How should he fix this at this point?
At this point, I think I probably would be tapping Mike Pompeo to go in there and start fixing the things that were broke.
The president has to do it himself. He broke him.
The president did break them.
Yeah,
but
he did.
Pompeo can be a fixer. And
He said John Kelly was going to be a fixer. Where do we get with that?
Well,
his chief of staff. The guy's
Pompeo
hopeless.
has at least given us some feeling that he's capable of performing on a world stage and bringing people to the table who we have differences of.
Do we
I
want
get
these
to see
people at the table, or do we just want
Wouldn't it be better
smack them down?
Wouldn't it be better to communicate with our friends? and also communicate
Well,
with
who are
their
our
enemies.
friends that are left?
Well, I think
NATO?
we have friends. We have friends, and I'll be honest.
We
with
do,
you.
as a people,
you,
we
you
do.
communicate to the ones who are very friendly to you. Sometimes you can be brutally honest because you have that type of
But that's
respect.
what-
And the ones who you are not friendly to, sometimes you have to walk on eggshells when you're
Why?
around them, because that's what
Why?
society does. That's what civility breeds.
Well, but he wasn't civil with the European leaders.
Because he was trying. They're our neighbors. They're our friends.
They're a bigger problem than Vladimir Putin, who tried to change our elections? Come on. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. In my opinion, it's like the theory of the absurd. This is 1984. Today, I believe them. Tomorrow, I don't. And blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, they put a law in place, what is it, the day after, that the NRA can hide their donors, which some of them now are believed to be Russians funneling money to Trump. Now, we don't know that for sure.
Oh, my God.
But he changed. They just did. The guy in charge of
the guy in charge.
the
He's always the guy in charge.
administration, I forget Wilbur Ross, whoever he is, one of them
Does he wear a
actually
black
did
suit?
this.
And sunglasses.
This is ridiculous. What's that got to do with the fact that somebody just said you can hide your donors to the NRA?
And is
they
it-
put this in the regulation. They can do it.
But the NRA is, I don't want to get off on too much tangent.
Yeah.
The NRA is a 501c something, correct?
Yes, exactly.
And can't 501c somethings generally hide their donors?
No, not exactly. It's not that simple. They just changed a rule this week.
We will bring
Because
that
they
up.
know they're coming along, the train is coming down the road, and it's coming to that.
So we
Mark
will.
my
The Siberian
words. Mark my
Railroad.
words.
No, seriously, we'll get into
Mark
that.
my
as,
words, this is-
we'll get into that as
Yeah.
as a different topic. That's an interesting
I
one.
just don't know why
I
people
was
aren't
not aware of
upset.
that.
I just don't understand.
All right, so can we all agree that he has something to fix?
I'm not going to argue that point.
And your thought process is put the hammer down, which, quite frankly, if I
He
were
needs to do it.
Yeah, I think
now.
so too.
Now, not
think so too.
not after the election. Now.
no, I agree. If we need to replace the Supreme Court justice now, we need to put the hammer down on this guy now.
What do you mean, the Supreme Court?
Well,
What's that got to do with this?
Well,
I don't understand.
The point is, we shouldn't wait in government to do the things we need to do.
Well, sometimes it's good to wait, but this is crucial. This is about our election. This
for
is
the-
about our democracy.
For
This
the
isn't-
administration that brags about all they've achieved in the first 18 months of being in power, get off your duff and get something done.
Right.
Okay?
Well,
All right, that's all we have on that one. Coming up next, Fast Five. We hope you'll stick around.